Hey, I'm a mechanical engineer, and this is my prop sword.
Are you not entertained?
A few weeks ago, I posted a video on how to build a prop shield. Well, in today's video, I'll be showing you how to build the sword that goes along with it. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So to begin, we're going to need to decide upon a wood to build the sword out of. In my opinion, oak wood would be a fantastic wood to use because it's very durable. However, it would be a little bit on the heavier side, but nothing too crazy. But since I want to make a very lightweight sword, I've decided to go with pine. Pine is a lighter wood than oak, but it's also a softer wood, which means it's easier to dent. But that's okay because it really shouldn't affect the sword at all unless you go beat it against something. Like that. Now that we have our wood picked out, we're going to want to start playing around with the basic dimensions of the sword. I cut the full length of my board down to 3 feet because that will allow us to have a 2-foot 2-inch blade and a 10-inch handle. And the reason why I designed it with the 10-inch handle is so we can fit both hands and still have room left over to fit the crossguard and the pommel. The board I'm using is currently 3/4 inches thick, which I think is a little bit too thick, so I'm going to go ahead and shave it down to a 1/2 inch. Just like that. Because this way the blade's thinner and it'll look a little bit more realistic. Now that we have our board cut to the proper length and thickness we want it to be at, we can go ahead and take a pencil, sketch on the design of our sword, and then go ahead and cut it out. Like this. And it's not super important, but I went with a 3-inch wide blade and an 1.5 inch wide handle. 3 inches is going to be a relatively wide blade, so if you don't want your blade to be that wide, I recommend cutting a little bit more narrow, maybe closer to 2 or 2.5 inches. An 1.5 inches feels good for the handle. If anything's a little small, but that's okay because we're going to build it up with padding later on. Next, I'm going to send this through the router, a sander would also work, and shave down the edges of the blade so they meet at a point, making it look like a real sword. Like this. We'll now give everything a good sanding, making sure to round off the corners of the handle just a little bit. Actually, you'll want to round out the handle until it feels comfortable in your grip. And with that, the sword is now ready to be painted. For paint, I'll be using gray spray paint with a hammered effect, which will really make it look like real metal. Now we can begin on constructing the crossguard. For the crossguard, I'm going to use inch-wide, 1/4 inch pieces for the sides, and then 2-inch by 1/2 inch pieces for the middle, making sure to leave an 1.5 inch wide hole in the center of the crossguard for the butt of the sword to slide into. And as you can see, I made it needlessly long because this way, once it's all put together, we can just cut it at the length we want it to be at and we won't have to worry about matching up ends. I'm now going to glue it together using my Titebond 2 wood glue, and the glue itself will be strong enough so you don't have to worry about nails or screws or anything like that. Just make sure to leave the hole in the center of the crossguard just wide enough to fit the handle of your sword. So once the glue dries, we go ahead and cut it down to the size we want it to be. I think I'm going to cut my size at an angle to help give the sword a little bit more personality. Like this. Now we can move on to the pommel or the butt of the sword. We're going to build the pommel very similarly to how we built the crossguard. We're going to have two 3-inch square 1/4 inch thick pieces for the top and bottom, and a 3-inch square 1/2 inch piece for the middle. And as you can see, I cut an inch deep slot in this, just big enough to snugly fit the handle of our sword. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these 3 pieces together just like they are in a square shape. But then once the glue dries, I'm going to cut a design in it, maybe a diamond, circle, or oval, to give it more of an appealing finished look. With the glue now dry, it is time to cut out our design. I've decided to go with a diamond design because I think it will look the best, but regardless of what you choose, once it's cut out, you'll take it and the crossguard and thoroughly sand them down, rounding out any and all edges to make them less block-like. Like this. And once both pieces are ready, we can go ahead and paint them. And I'm going to paint mine a brown color, but I haven't quite decided which one to go with yet. I think I'm going to go with the lighter brown so it stands out from the shield we built a few weeks ago, but I may regret this decision. I ended up mixing 2 brown colors and then lightly sanding them a little bit to give them more of a weathered look. So now it's time to put it all together. We'll take our crossguard and slide it onto the handle of the sword, making sure to glue it right before it reaches the top of it. We'll then repeat the process and glue on the pommel to the end of the sword. And then lastly, I'm going to take this grip tape that I bought at Big 5, which is the greatest sporting goods store the world has ever seen. It's originally intended for tennis rackets, but we're going to go ahead and wrap the handle with it to make it a little bit more comfortable to hold. Then once we have it all on, I'm going to take some electrical tape and wrap around each end a little bit to make sure it doesn't come undone. And with that, the sword is now complete. The sword is a lot more lightweight than I thought it would be. It's really close to nothing to carry around. And I absolutely love the grip we put on here. It makes it extremely comfortable to hold. The sword also seems to complement the shield quite nicely. Intimidating? Not so much. And of course, it is highly customizable. You could change the crossguard or the pommel, even the blade itself. Your imagination is the only limit. Due to your services of watching this video and through the powers that YouTube has granted onto me, I now knight you.
Are you not entertained?
And there you have it, how to build a prop sword. But hey, thank you so much for you guys watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please feel free to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And Lord willing, I'll see you next Friday.
Thanks for watching, and please feel free to subscribe.